This is a story of a devastating tragedy that engulfed the Mnisi royal family from Bushbuck region in Mpumalanga. A chilling tale of betrayal, power and bloodshed. It began in March of 2023 when Chief Clyde Mnisi was assassinated by unknown gunmen. Just 2 days later, his widow met the same fate, taken out in their home. Not long after, the chief's successor was also hit on the very day he was officially placed in charge. Now the domino effect didn't stop there. Mnisi's two brothers were taken out next, followed by his sister. Each one was hit in a similarly ruthless fashion. Adding a sinister twist to the saga is the fact that Chief Mnisi was entangled in a court case alongside two other alleged kingpins of a criminal syndicate dealing in rhino poaching and other illicit activities. Now the syndicate's alleged leader was a notorious figure from Hazy View known as Mshem, who himself was ambushed and executed in 2021 while sitting in his car. Now rumors suggest that Clyde Mnisi may have taken over the gang after Mshem's death. Now as of now, only one of the three alleged kingpins from the court case remains alive, a dangerously notorious ex-cop known as Big Joe. Infamous for his violent history, Big Joe has been accused of taking people out, including his neighbor, after a deal went sour. Now in this video, we'll look into the notorious life of the late Chief Clyde Mnisi and the tragedy that happened to his family and also the controversial empire he left behind. For over a decade, the Kruger National Park has been under siege, not just from relentless rhino poaching, but from an even more insidious enemy, corruption within its own ranks. Now between 2011 and 2020, the Kruger's white rhino population plummeted by a staggering 75%, shrinking from approximately 10,621 to just 2,607. Now the park struggles are deeply intertwined with the broader shadow of organized crime in Mpumalanga, especially communities around the Kruger National Park, a region plagued by kidnappings, cash in transit heists, ATM bombings, illegal mining, extortion and endemic corruption. The Kruger staff, many of whom live in nearby villages and towns, find themselves in the crosshairs of poaching syndicates and ruthless criminal gangs operating right on their doorsteps. No place is truly safe. A lack of skilled law enforcement, coupled with resource-starved police stations riddled with corruption, has created a void where criminal networks flourish unchecked. News reports reveal that around 2018, 3 suspected leaders of these gangs faced trial, accused of smuggling and possession of rhino horns. Their crimes underscored the reach and sophistication of these networks, which exploit every crack in the system to profit from the Kruger's dwindling rhino population. Now the Kruger National Park, once a symbol of Africa's untamed wilderness, now stands as a battleground, not just for wildlife, but for the very soul of conservation. Petros Sidney Mabuza, also known as Mshem, was a feared ring leader of a cash in transit heist gang and rhino poaching syndicates. At 57, his dangerous lifestyle caught up with him. In June of 2021, 3 hitters ambushed him in a parking lot of Lowveld Mall in Hazy View in Mpumalanga. Sitting in his orange double cab buggy, Mabuza was hit and taken out in a brutal execution. Now Mshem's life was anything but ordinary. Allegedly flush with cash from illegal ventures, he reportedly had police officers on his payroll all over Mpumalanga and wasn't shy about flaunting his wealth. For many, his clan name Mshem was a symbol of reverence, a nod to his larger-than-life persona in the underworld. Since Mshem was rumored to have police officers on his payroll, some believe he was silenced by the same police force to cut ties that could expose their connection to his criminal empire. Others whisper that his own people turned on him, eliminating him to settle scores or seize control, but the truth remains shrouded in mystery. His killers were never arrested. Now on the streets, rumors were going around that after Mshengu's death, Mnisi stepped into his shoes, taking over the gang and lucrative, dangerous empire Mshengu had built. Joseph Big Joe Nyalunga, once a police officer in Mpumalanga, turned into a suspected criminal kingpin. His shadowy reputation began to solidify after the 2010 hit of his neighbor Willie Shipalani, whose body was found in Inyaka Dam near Bushbuck Ridge. Despite years of unanswered questions, Nyalunga managed to evade justice, earning him the nickname Untouchable Joe. In one raid on his residence in Kuhlu, police uncovered metal coffers filled with over 5 million rands in cash. With no legitimate income, the money raised suspicions of his criminal dealings, but the discoveries didn't stop there. Further searches revealed over 60 hunting knives and pangas, some still stained with blood, along with night vision equipment, silencers for rifles, stolen electronics, and even an electronic money counter. Now, one particular chilling find was a camera belonging to Big Joe. Among the photos were haunting images of a terrified young man, handcuffed and curled in a fetal position around a pole. In the background were jumper cables, a car battery, and cans of beer, tools that hinted at torture. Now, the man remains unidentified, and police fear he may have been taken out. After the arrest of Mshengu, Big Joe and Mnisi in 2018, the lead investigating officer on the case, Colonel Leroy Brewer, a veteran investigator, was ambushed on his way to work. Armed hitters with heavy caliber hammers went to work on his vehicle, hitting him a couple of times. Now, Leroy, just 49 years old, was taken out on the spot, his car riddled with shots. Now, as the lead investigating officer in high-profile cases, his assassination sent shockwaves through the law enforcement community, a chilling reminder of the risks faced by those who stand against organized crime in Mpumalanga. In July of 2022, another life was lost in the war against poaching. Anton Mzimba, the head ranger at Dimbabati Private Nature Reserve, was hit and taken out outside his home in Edinburgh Trust, near Bushbuck Ridge. Known for his unwavering integrity and refusal to be corrupted, Mzimba had received numerous death threats before the attack. His murder laid bare the immense danger faced by rangers protecting South Africa's wildlife. That night, the hitters showed no mercy. Mzimba was hit in cold blood, and his wife was severely wounded but survived. Despite clear leads, the investigation into Mzimba's hit was stalled. The lack of progress casts a dark shadow over efforts to combat poaching and protect those who risk their lives to safeguard South Africa's natural heritage. Now, these brutal hits highlight the escalating violence and lawlessness surrounding the fight to preserve Africa's wildlife, a deadly battle where even the protectors are not safe. According to reports, Mnisi came up from being a diesel mechanic, then a livestock farmer, and later a taxi owner. In late October 2022, Mnisi, at the age of 37, was officially inaugurated as Hosi, or chief, the traditional leader of the Mnisi clan, overseeing 11 villages around Bushbuck Ridge. Yet beneath the veneer of authority lay dark allegations. Police and prosecutors also accused Mnisi of being a key figure in the massive rhino horn trafficking syndicate, together with Mshengu and Big Joe. A police operation dubbed Project Broadbill, involving elite units such as the Hawks and Sandparks, seized assets with millions linked to Mnisi's network. The haul included properties, luxury cars, trucks, stolen trailers, generators and electronic equipment, and even animal skins. Now, investigations revealed business ties between Mnisi and Big Joe, with shared ownership of several shelf companies dating back to 2004. But Mnisi's reign came to a violent end on a dark Sunday night of March 2023, While traveling in a Toyota Avanza near Kruger Mpumalanga International Airport, Mnisi and his driver had a flat tire. As they waited for assistance, a black BMW X5 pulled up. 5 masked headers armed with high-caliber hammers emerged and went to work. Mnisi was riddled with shots and was taken out on the spot, while his driver survived with a leg wound. 2 days after Clyde Mnisi's funeral, his widow Charlene Felicity Matthews became the next target. In the early hours of the morning, the suspects broke into the Mnisi household in Mkuhlu. They stormed into Charlene's room. Desperate, she ran out into another room where elderly women were sleeping, but the attackers were relentless. They dragged her into the living room as she begged for her life, offering money in exchange for mercy. Her pleas fell on deaf ears. The assailants went to work on Charlene multiple times, silencing her forever. 2 other family members were wounded in the brutal attack. Despite police investigations, the headers disappeared into the darkness, leaving a trail of devastation and unanswered questions. What's strange is that on the day of Charlene's funeral, none of her in-laws attended. The absence was glaring, hinting at tensions simmering between the families. Who could have taken Charlene out? Was it the same people who took out her husband? Did she maybe know something that could incriminate them? Or could someone from her in-laws have been involved? Perhaps they feared she would inherit her late husband's estate, including businesses and land, and they wanted to stop her from gaining control. What makes it even more suspicious is that in a house filled with members of the royal family, Charlene was the only target. She was the one they came for, the one they silenced. It raises unsettling questions with no clear answers.
A family reeling in shock as they narrate the story of the fatal shooting. They still don't have answers from the Mnisi family, who they say were present during the incident. The deceased, Charlene Matthews, was married to the late Inkosi Clyde Mnisi, who was ambushed while with his driver and gunned down 2 weeks ago. The family says events leading to the killing of their daughter and the absence of the Mnisi family in the mourning process is suspicious to them.
Like I'm saying, the house was very well secured. But on that day, all the security assets were left dysfunctional, which means somebody has a hand in the whole affair.
However, the Mnisi family denies these allegations. The family spokesperson says he too doesn't understand why the gates were left open on that day.
You would also understand that there were elderly people who were sleeping there, old women, who preferred that the house, the door remains open. And every time somebody tried to close that, the grannies will still go and open that door. Maybe it could be out of that, I don't know.
The bloodshed didn't end there. In August of 2023, Mnisi's appointed successor, a 72-year-old Eric Madala Mnisi, I think it was his uncle, was ambushed and taken out. He was hit after coming out of a meeting where he was officially appointed to succeed Mnisi. The clan, already mourning the loss of Mnisi, were left leaderless once again. Tragedy struck again when Clyde Mnisi's brothers, Buchari, who was 30 years old at the time, and Trinity Nyalungu, who was 25, were brutally taken out at a tavern in Mandangaleni. Now the attack unfolded just before midnight. Gunshots shattered the night, drawing the attention of one brother inside the tavern. Rushing out to see what was happening, he was met with a devastating sight. His brother already lying lifeless. Before he could react, he too was struck down, taking him out instantly. The headers didn't stop there. They stole a firearm from one of the victims before vanishing into the darkness. When the police arrived, the ground was littered with bullet shells. The nightmare didn't end there, it continued. Ntombi Charlotte Nyalungu, Clyde Mnisi's sister, was ambushed at a McDonald's drive-thru in Hazyview. As she was ordering a food at a drive-thru, 3 men in a VW Polo unleashed a hail of shots, leaving yet another chilling mark on the clan's legacy. The Mnisi's family fall from power is a saga of ambition, crime, and relentless violence. Once rulers of their domain, their legacy now lies in ruin, shattered by a trail of bullets and blood. What's truly shocking about these hits is that, despite the relentless bloodshed and the sheer number of victims, the police haven't managed to arrest a single suspect. It begs the question, are they utterly incompetent or are they complicit in this web of chaos? As it stands, Big Joe is the last man standing from the infamous 2018 case. Judging by the way things are unfolding, it's hard not to wonder if he's the one who took over the criminal empire. But the burning question remains, who took out Mnisi and his family members and why? Was it his own gang turning against him? Or is it a battle within the royal family for power and control? Clyde Mnisi's alleged ties to ruthless criminal syndicates, groups known for taking out cops and anyone who dares stands in their way. It wouldn't be surprising if these hits were ordered from within the criminal underworld. Meanwhile, the Mnisi royal family lives in constant fear, uncertain of who will be next in this deadly game of betrayal and revenge.